Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. Me indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, and it is September 6th, 2024, and we are broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. We are still approaching 53,000 villains. Thank you for following and liking and sharing this content onto your own page. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chap. Thank you to JC Sports on YouTube for allowing us to broadcast in there. Please subscribe to our YouTube page at Lion Villain Squad. And we are also broadcasting live into the Huddle Sports Network. We are on Roku right now. If you got a Roku, just look up Lions Villain Squad and Huddle Sports Network. And that is run by Bill the Packer fan and Mike the Bear fan. And we don't have to hate on them because our mantra right here is faith, family, and then football in that order. It's important that we keep our priorities straight. And we have faith, family, and football. That way I don't have to hate Bill the Packer fan as a person or Mike the Bear fan as a person. I can just hate their team because we have it in perspective, which is faith, family, and football. So welcome to the program to everybody. Let's go say hello to the people that are in there. Henry Gray. Good morning, Villain and Lions family. Even though it wasn't our Lions playing last night, it was a good game and a great start to the season. Isaiah Likely shouldn't have cut his toenails before the game. I love that call right there. Fred Peterson, Good morning. It's a great day to be a Lion. One pride. Good morning to Henry Gray. I watched till halftime. It was a good game. The refs were riding the crap out of the Ravens O-line. Gosh, you guys were here before that thing even started. I love it. Henry Gray. Again, we got Davey in the house. Good morning, one pride to you. And David, we got Davey and David. Good morning, y'all, right there. Before we even got into the YouTube program, right there. Okay, so this show is brought to you by NFL Shop, right there. And you can use our link for NFL Shop, right? If you use the villain link, just know that you're supporting our page. And we appreciate when you support the page. And these guys are the one. I mean, they allow us to sell their crap, right? So I'm going to put a link into the comments right now. You don't have to use it, but there you go. Brought to you by NFL Shop. Promo code NFL24 will get you free shipping right there. So thank you, everybody, for joining the show, and hit the like button. Somebody hit the like button. And preferably do it over on the YouTube channel, because YouTube is way more friendly with us about my opportunity song. I love having the opportunity song, but Facebook keeps on dinging me even though I'm paying for it. And for that reason, I have to delete this podcast afterwards, and I re-upload it without the intro to Facebook only. But on the YouTube channel, you can keep your comments on there forever. Like, I don't delete that one. That one stays up there forever, and we appreciate that too. And YouTube is also the place that we do our villain cast, which we're going to be broadcasting the game live, at least through audio version, on Sunday night. Our broadcast will start around 8 o'clock, a couple minutes before. Get it in here, get all souped up, ready to go. And we hope that you join us, the ones that want to watch the Lions game on the weekend. So how the heck is everybody doing? TGI Friday, baby. We're going to do some predictions today, going through, slowly go through the Lions schedule for this year and see how much homer I can get. See if I can't get us 13, 14 wins just by going through these little bit by little bit. Let me see if I got the schedule in here. The schedule right there. Yes, look at all that. Look at all that right there. So, what do you think? What did you think of the game yesterday? Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. It was the Kansas City Chiefs opening up the season in Arrowhead again. Comes down to some controversy at the end of the game. What are you going to do? It seems like Patrick Mahomes just finds a way every single time. Like they were saying earlier, I think that was Fred's comment. He should have cut his toenails before, because that was really close. I mean, when they say that football games come down to the game of inches, right? I mean, it doesn't get any more inches than that. Catching a ball. I mean, that wouldn't even a guarantee they would have won or anything. If they would have scored a touchdown, they would have a chance to either take it to overtime, or they could have went for the win at that point. They called it. And, I know Kansas City Chief fans are out there right now complaining about the referees, saying that Patrick Mahomes always gets the calls because he's Patrick Mahomes. Stop crying. Stop crying. Like, at least the Lion fans. No Lion fan wants to hear that. You want to hear how somebody got screwed over by the refs? Are you kidding me? Lion fans ain't going to be doing that. I mean, come on. So let's see what we got in here. Let's see what anybody said about this right here. Good morning, Fred, not general manager Fred. Yes, they are. Flag after flag. And they were riding the crap out of that Ravens O-line. They were calling penalties on them last year. It's like last year you had their tackle from I can't think of what his name is, Jawan Taylor, I think, lining up like 5 yards in the backfield, and they never called it the entire time. And now they're riding the Ravens, and it's like, I don't know. Really, when you think about it, it's a game of inches. You could probably call holding on every single play, and maybe it does seem like, because they've won 2 Super Bowls in a row, maybe it does seem like the referees are on their side. Dwayne Keene in the house. Good morning, y'all. Let's go Lion. One Pride NFC Championship right there. Let me throw this in there for you, because I know that you like to see that. NFC North champions. Oh, I hate having to go back for so you can't say the NFC North champions right there. Your Detroit Lions right there. Thank you, Dwayne. Just a toe out of bounds. So close for the Ravens. What's up, Charles? Good morning. Muskegon Posse in the house. That's right. Chad. Good morning, Chad. Officials were definitely one-sided last night. Chad agrees with all the crying Raven fans. And there's the NFL gear. This is not a spam link right there. Mike and I run this page, and we're a couple blue-collar guys, man. We don't have any big sponsorships or anything like that. That's out there. Fred Peterson is one of the contributors to our Patreon. We do get a little bit of support from y'all out there, but it's not like we got Braylon Edwards and Darren McCarty and all these famous people on here. We're just a couple knuckleheads that have podcasts. I come on here, every day at 10 o'clock, and Mike does his Monday night show, and we run the page, man. We try to put good conversation out there onto our Facebook page. But those of you that use our link, that does. If you buy a jersey, NFL Shop sends us like $10, and it helps support our page. So if you're going to get a jersey, you might as well go to our affiliate marketing partner, the NFL Shop. Oh, I love it. Good morning, Mark Orlando. Elise Memes in the house, the queen of memes. I hope that you got to check out her the Applebee's meme that got thrown out onto the Lion Squad, Villain Squad Facebook page. How's this for a homer? 14-3. That's pretty homerish. There you go. We're going to go through that. We're going to go through game by game. Let's really take a look at this year. If Lamar runs that much, I don't see him playing a full season healthy. I was thinking the exact same thing yesterday, Henry. 100%, because you can't be putting your shoulder down. All of these Lion fans that want a running quarterback and to do that, like, I liked what I saw out of Hendon Hooker in preseason. He can run the ball. I like a guy that can escape the pocket, but you cannot sustain wins without a guy that throws from the pocket first. Throws, even Patrick Mahomes, as great as he is at escaping, he is a wizard at escaping the pocket. But Patrick Mahomes will throw the ball first. He will look for his playmakers first, and that's what separates him from running quarterbacks. He's not a running quarterback. Brock Purdy is not a running quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not a running quarterback. These guys that are, when everything breaks down, they can't get the first read, second read, third read, they can make a play happen afterwards. And that's what separates the men from the boys right there. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is constantly going to be better than a Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, until he learns to trust his arm more. And I believe that Lamar Jackson has the chops. He has the chops to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You might even consider him there already. But when it comes to that style and, running first, taking what you can get, you're not going to last. These NFL players are too good. You're going to be taking hits. You want to last 17 games and then into the playoffs? Come on, man. You know, you may not like Jared Goff and his non-escapability, but here's the thing. If he takes a sack, he takes a sack. You go, I mean, it's okay to take sacks as long as you're not turning the ball over, which, you know, you have to protect the football. And Jared Goff protects the football, but one thing that he does that Lamar Jackson doesn't is he doesn't take unnecessary hits. You know, if Jared Goff gets 5 yards when he's running out of the backfield, you know, coming around the corner looking like a baby giraffe with the football, if he gets 5 yards, he's going to slide down. He isn't going to put his shoulder down. He isn't going to try to make some extra stuff happen because, you know, he's got the little, you know, run and shoot going right there. Little quarterback option with Jared Goff. You know, Jared Goff is going to last. He's going to last because he doesn't take unnecessary hits. Now, it's exciting, right? Everybody wanted Lamar Jackson. Do you still want Lamar Jackson? You still want Lamar Jackson here instead? Henry, you are spot on. I don't know how many people, and Fred says, I don't know how many remember the Lion versus Kansas City last season. Their tackle was lined up in the backfield and false started on every snap. He did it again last night, and it never was called. Shaking my head. I could agree with that. If I was a Raven fan, I would want to complain about that. But one thing that we've learned as Lions fans is we can't complain about the refs. I mean, even if you're right, you know, you can know what you know, but you can't say the refs are the reasons that you win or lose the games. Like, don't put yourself in that position. Don't get the game close. Make more plays. Do a better job because all of these games are going to come down to 1, 2, 3 plays. And if you win those plays, usually it's a good tug of war with every team, even if it was 1 versus 32 in the NFL. You know, the best team versus the worst team. That worst team has got quality players on it. Even New England's got good players. Carolina's got good players. You can do it. I mean, any given Sunday, remember? And, you know, don't blame it on the refs. You can look back and criticize the refs. I don't mind that because they don't, sometimes they don't do a good job. I've noticed that too. Lamar is an imposter. Broski Bear in the house. You're starting to be, you're moving up that chain as one of my favorite Bear fans. I'm telling you, Broski, keep it up. Keep it up. See what happens. I hope he does. I just made $50 bet, a $50 bet on picking all the division winners, and I picked the Ravens to win the AFC North. Okay, that's a AFC North is the black and blue AFC division. I believe the AFC North and the NFC North will be the two strongest teams or two strongest divisions in the NFL by the end of the year. That's one of the things that I went on. Mike and I talked about that last week. And I'll tell you what, who knows how good those Cleveland Browns can be? Everybody, you know, already poo-poos out the Deshaun Watson thing, but if that guy gets anything back to form, he doesn't even need to be great. That Browns defense is outstanding. They keep it in there. Right there. Big M says, good morning, Russell and the Villains. Hulk, good morning, Russell and the Villains. What you gonna do when the king of the jungle, the lions, get released from their cages and destroy some lamb chops Sunday evening? Let's go. That's right, brother. What you gonna do when the lions run wild on you? That's right. Detroit Fan Man says, now I think Mahomes is just kind of lame as a person, but that white cleats comment was cold. And it is true. If he would have wore white cleats, is that not true? That is a great comment that he made right there. And here's the thing. It wasn't a catch. You can controversy it all you want, man. I looked at it. I looked at it from 15 different angles. There's no way you could have called that a catch. I don't care if it's that it is that much. It is that much. That's how much they lost by. I can barely get my eye in there. Ooh. Look at that. That much. That much. And it was out. His foot was on the line. Out of bounds. It was the right call. I don't care what you say. That call was done right. They may have missed some holding calls. They may have called too many holding calls. They may have never called Juwan Taylor ever for false starting. It is what it is. It is what it is. They may have missed some calls in there, but that wasn't one that they missed. That was the right call. He did not catch the ball inbounds. 2 feet down. You did not get it. That first foot was not down. What's the white cleats comment? So the white cleats comment was Mahomes went out there afterwards, said if he would have wore white cleats, he might have got the call. He should have wore white cleats. You know, it was the black and white against the line with that foot. It's all good. Mahomes telling him to wear white cleats right there. Too soon, my guy. Detroit fan man, I'm missing something. Why is that cold? Okay. I like it. You can get a little bit savage out there, according to Broski Bear. You can get savage. That is a savage comment, really, when you think about it. He missed a wide open Flowers to play before the toe catch. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. You got to make the plays, guys. You got to make the plays. All right. Truly a game of inches. So what I want to do at this point is get in here and go through this schedule right here. So truly the game of inches. Jeremy B says, good morning, Russ and the villains. You too, broski. That's right. That's right. Jeremy B's up in the house. Now, if the whole damn Ravens team is in white boots, Mahomes knows that he's in their head. Oh, man. Can't go there next time. Can't go there next time. So let's go through these really. I don't know if I want to go through it fast or how I want to go through this right here, but the Lions start out September 8th. We're going to be there watching this game, doing the Lion Villain cast. So I've already been on record to say I think that the Lions are going to blow this team out. I think the Lions are poised mid-season form. I don't think that with all of the injuries that they have, the players that they've traded, I got the Lions definitely going 1-0 right here after Sunday night. And as Broski Bear would say, like, we better win this team. We better win this game because it's teed up. This game on Sunday is teed up, ready to go. You know, you got Matt Stafford in there. I mean, last year, if you just look at the game they played last year in the playoffs, 1-point win, and Matt Stafford was having his way with the secondary and Puka Nacua. And the Lions had a weakness at secondary last year. If you go with the same game plan and you just try to attack us with Puka Nacua, it ain't going to work this time. The secondary is much improved. Much improved. And I know that it's a brand new look secondary. Oh, you can't just say this secondary is improved. It's like, yeah, you can. Because Kendall Vildor was the starting cornerback, one of them, and Cameron Sutton. And Cameron Sutton isn't on the team, and Kendall Vildor is like the 6th defensive back coming off of the bench. Went from starting. So I don't know what you know about talent and coaching and deciding, but when you slide 5 guys down the depth chart and you're still on the team, that means that those 5 guys are probably better than you. which means to me that it just tells me the level of talent that they have in the defensive backs room isn't even the same. So if they're going to try to game plan, well, there's no Cameron Sutton to game plan against. There's no Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to game plan against. There's no, I mean, the secondary is completely different. Even if you want a game plan for Brian Branch, he's moving back to safety. So they aren't going to be able to use the same game plan. We also replaced guys in the defensive line, which it isn't just an upgrade, guys. Kyle Pecco is a massive upgrade over Benito Jones, Quentin Bohanna, and Isaiah Buggs. It is what it is, right? Levi Onwuzurike, completely healthy, playing average defensive tackle, is better than what we had in there last year. And as much as the injury talk is talking about Marcus Davenport, he made it through an entire preseason training camp, guys. There's no injury in there. He appears to be completely healthy. He will start at defensive end. And this guy is a plus player when he's been out on the field. So, with that being said, let's go to the other side of the ball, where the Los Angeles Rams last year, when the Lions won by 1 point, they had the best defensive tackle in football on their team that retired in Aaron Donald. And it wasn't because of, I mean, this guy is a guy, a dude that you have to account for. And I'm not saying that these rookies that they got ain't any good. But if you just expect a brand new rookie to come in here against this offensive line, oh my gosh, what an advantage that is. You don't have a center, so you move your new $17 million guard to center to play center for the first time. You don't have a right tackle. You don't have a left tackle. And you have a hungry defensive line. What the hell do you think is going to happen? You got a great running back, but you ain't going to be able to run the ball against this team. You just ran into the wrong team week 1, guys. And that's what's going to happen. But I would run and take that bet right there. I would have made that my lock pick yesterday if I don't want to just take, the homer picks right there. So I got Lions definitely going 1-0 right there. Now let's go. We wait. And then we bring another playoff team in. Tampa Bay comes into town. Now, this one feels like a trap game after getting all high on the first game of the year, going 1-0. And it feels like a trap game, but I don't think it's going to be a trap game. I think the Lions carry the momentum. September 15th, they come in. The 12th man is rocking. Baker Mayfield can't get it done. We got a better secondary. They're not going to be able to run the football. Our offense can score on any defense, even though they are a pretty good defense. I think the Lions roll in week 2. That's 2-0. That's 2-0. Let's take this up to the bye week and then go back to the comments right here. Arizona. This is one of those weird games right here. Arizona Cardinals. Week 3, we have to go to Arizona, which will be a home game for the Lions, by the way, because Arizona doesn't have any fans over there. You get little 5'0" Kyler Murray, and they may be able to get some stuff going with Marvin Harrison Jr. right there. I believe that in that pick right there. But game 3, I think the Lions go to 3-0 right there against the Cardinals right there. And then you go in week 4. Week 4, you got the Seahawks, the dreaded Seahawks. I mean, are you kidding me? The Seahawks, these damn Seahawks, they've been beating our ass and we'll never get that victory over Pete Carroll. We'll never get that Pete Carroll victory. But this isn't Pete Carroll. I think the Lions go into the bye week at 4-0. Am I a stupid homer? Am I just a homer? I know Broski Bear's going to call me a homer for saying 4-0, but I don't think the Lions are poised to break out this year. They are poised to, and they went to the NFC Championship. It's amazing. I would say break out. What do you mean break out? They went to the NFC Championship. No, they didn't break out last year. Last year, they surprised some people. Last year, it felt like getting to the playoffs and winning a playoff game was the goal. And we did that and then some, and had a chance. I mean, really blew a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, you want to call it coaching, you want to call it Josh Reynolds drops, you just missed opportunities, whatever you want to call it. But they played with house money last year, got all the way to the title game. But this year, they don't have the weaknesses. They had a obvious weakness last year in the secondary, and every good team exploited it. Even in the losses. Like we beat the Bears last year. We came back on the Bears and won a game they should have won. Even Justin Fields took advantage of that with DJ Moore. We had a weak secondary last year, and good teams do that. You know, good teams come in and they exploit the weaknesses that you have. And last year we were weak in the secondary position. I don't think that's the case for this year. Let's go up here. I'm glad we got some comments. Good. The game of inches. Good morning, Russell and the villains. 31-17's Rams had another DB hit on IR yesterday. Yes, that is true. That is a great call out, Jeremy. That is a great call out. Another defensive back out. And it just keeps getting worse and worse for them. I agree with Russell. Blowout Sunday, a statement game. Jamal Grant said, I think that we're going to blow them out too. They got 5 people out. Yep. And they got a bunch of rookies that are going to learn. They're going to learn some things right off the bat, especially, you got your Jared Verse and gosh, who's that other guy? They got another guy in the second round that we actually wanted, another defensive tackle. And they got good young defenders that are in there. And I think that looking forward down by the end of the season, I think that you are going to be talking about Verse. I think that you are going to be talking about a lot of these. I just don't think it's going to be in game 1. You're going to run into Frank Ragnow, buddy. Braden Fisk. You're going to run into Frank. You're going to run into Frank the Tank and Kevin Zeitler. Yeah, Jared Verse. You're going to run into Penei Sewell, buddy, or Taylor Decker. I mean, that's not a great first game to draw for you. Yeah, so I mean, they're going to run into us. Wasn't Kupp out versus the Lions in the playoffs? I don't think so. I thought Kupp was in that game. Maybe he wasn't. I could be wrong on that. But I swore that he was in there. Let me check this out. Going there by the game. Right there, 2023. Let's go into the playoffs. Wild card. Let's look on offense. Maybe I was wrong. Nope, Cooper Kupp played in the game. 58 snaps in the game. He did not have a good game. He got shut down. No, I think that you may not have thought that he was in the game, but that's all right. That's good on the defense, was it? No, it wasn't good on the defense. He wasn't out of the game. It was just, wow, we're just going to keep throwing to Puka Nacua until they stop us. And he just kept throwing it to him, and we never stopped him. So maybe Kupp just kind of got squeezed out of that situation. We have to protect the den this year. CB2 last season in a DB room. It's the truth. AG's comment on Arnold that he is sticky and you have to be more excited about the rookie. I like this comment right here because Ben Johnson was talking about Terrion Arnold too. And the thing is like Terrion Arnold had said that he knew Like they talked to him yesterday. He knows that Stafford is going to go after him. Stafford is an elite quarterback, and Stafford knows how to attack the weaknesses. And I know, and you know too, we had Stafford here for all those years. He will go after your weak guy or what he perceives to be the weakness. So a rookie is somebody that I definitely believe is going to be tested. I don't know which guy that he's going to be out there manning up on come Sunday night, but rest assured that Stafford will go after Arnold at least to test him at first. They got to see if they can get that advantage right there. And Ben Johnson had said they tried to test Arnold all the way through training camp and didn't work out very well for him. So we'll have to see about that. Brian Branch was holding Cup in check during the playoff game. Yeah, Brian Branch is kind of like the villain of a Cooper Kupp. He's kind of like the mirror image, the offensive, defensive, same type of guy right there. Just a baller in the middle. A baller in the middle. AG is telling fans not to sleep on Davenport. I'll keep this one up there, Jeremy B, because this is one of the things that I've had to listen to all offseason. The criticism, especially from Viking fans, they called him Davin Poop because he was never available. They spent $13 million trying to get him to save their defensive line, put him next to Hunter, and it didn't work out. He got injured. He only played in like 4 games all season. But Davenport comes in, and there's this thing that people love to do is, oh, he's going to be injured because he was injured. And here's the thing. You can go up and down your own roster, any team in the NFL, and you're going to find a whole bunch of guys with injury histories. And that's the thing. There's injury histories all over the place. You could point out, and if every single one of those guys with injury histories get injured again, then you're not even going to have a 53-man team. I mean, you're going to have to go and hire guys off the street. So yes, injuries can derail any team. Now, with that being said, Davenport got injured last year and rehabbed the injury and has came back into camp fully recovered from the injury. Not, we better ease him into it. I don't know if he's going to be ready. No, he's been ready. He's been ready since the beginning of camp and didn't get injured during the camp. So you have a starting defensive end in Marcus Davenport. It's the first time that he's been healthy in 2 years all the way. So AG's telling fans not to sleep on Davenport. And part of that reason is because you may have DJ Reader playing in game 1. And if DJ Reader is there, he demands 2 people. Guess what you can't do if you have to demand 2 people on the interior of your defensive line? You might have to put 3-on-2, 4-on-2 to get Aleem and DJ Reader. You're going to get one-on-one matchups, guys. You're going to get, you may even have Davenport trying to be blocked by a tight end. So this isn't going to work out well right here. The Lions had below average players on the defensive tackle position last year. No offense to Isaiah Buggs. You came in and did a job that most of the time didn't embarrass us. But we got to be able to get pressure with the 4 people. And it can't be all Aiden Hutchinson. And it won't be this year. So right there, don't sleep on Davenport. That's what Smoking Jeremy B says. Excited to see the defense this year. Detroit fan man, wait, Pecco on the 53, or is he still on the practice squad? And if he isn't on the 53, isn't that more of a sign that Reader is going to play? I don't know about that. I think that they don't have a 53. Now, Detroit fan man, the Lions now have a 52-man roster, and this is something they were kind of trying out. They're going to be able to pick one of these guys up from the practice squad that will come up and play on Sunday. Right now, he's not on the roster, and they go through the whole week of practice with 52 people, and we don't know who that extra guy is going to be. So if Reeder plays, which it does look like the signs are saying that Reeder is going to play. If he does play, then I don't think that Pecco will be the guy that they call up. If Reeder plays, I believe that they will call up one of the wide receivers, either Allen Robinson or Tim Patrick or Donovan Peoples-Jones, because they need that big X-body receiver. They got 3 of them on the practice squad. I think that's the move that's going to be made right there, not Kyle Pecco. But what does that tell you guys? Kyle Pecco on the practice squad. What does that tell you? That he's on the practice squad and he's better than anything that we had next to McNeil last year on the practice squad. So Kyle Pecco, a practice squad player, was better than guys that we had starting last year. That should tell you the upgrade that's in there. So, and I never did say that Kyle Pecco was on the main roster, by the way. Just saw that Iffy was back in there too. Yeah, a lot. That was the only injuries. Jahmyr Gibbs was completely injury free, and the other one, Laporta, completely removed from the injury list. Completely removed from the injury list. Okay. Do you think that Arizona gives away half-size bobbleheads? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Less material. Would that be a cheaper bobblehead? That would be the question right there. Oh, Ken Fisher. Hello, Russell. My prediction is 13-4. My mistake are that we split with Green Bay, a loss to Houston, San Francisco, and then damn Cowgirls. All right, you got a loss in there. There we go. I heard that Murray has no bobbleheads because of the clause in his contract. He has to practice and watch tape, but he gets to block. Oh, Braden, gosh, I must be way behind. Oh, gosh, right there. Verse and Panay will be a fun matchup to watch. Verse likes to talk a lot, according to the report. LA and Panay has no problem giving it back. I mean, he can talk all he wants about Panay Sewell. And if he can beat Panay Sewell on any pass rush, I mean, there you go. You got yourself a good draft pick because Panay Sewell's the best in the business. There is no better tackle in the NFL right now. And miss me with Trent Williams. Trent Williams is aging. Panay Sewell is him right there. Kupp was in the playoff game. Let me see. All signs. Okay. Ken Fisher. Hey, Russell. During yesterday's game, Xavier Worthy had only rushed the ball one time, 1 touchdown, same odd yards, caught 2 passes that averaged 20-some yards and a touchdown. It's pretty good-looking rookie wide receiver. Predictions, I told you to look out for the Kansas City rookie wide receiver. Well, here's the thing with Xavier Worthy. One of the greatest things that Xavier Worthy has going for him is that Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback. And because Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, you can just trade a guy like Tyreek Hill and still win the Super Bowl. And Xavier Worthy is a cheaper version of Tyreek Hill that is going to be put in a position to be a great player, a lot like our own Jameson Williams. And Jameson Williams is going to break out this year. Jameson Williams is going to break out this year. You can sense it. I mean, just if you've actually been watching the practices for the last couple of years, a lot of people are like, well, what happened the first year? Yeah, you said that the second year. We didn't say that in either year. There was potential that Jameson Williams could have broke out last year. There was a little bit of rumbling of that last year, but then he got the gambling suspension. And they didn't even put him in. He didn't have more than 7 targets in any game. in any game. And if you've ever followed fantasy football and you got guys with talent, talent isn't always the most important thing. Sometimes it's opportunity. And Jameson Williams is going to have some opportunity this year. Now, he may be a bust. He may be a bust, right? Everybody says that he may be a bust. That's true, but he might not be. He might not be a bust. And with opportunity goes in there, you got a guy that can score anytime he touches the ball. I mean, they only took deep shots on him last year, but we had a well-oiled offense that didn't require. So they were just putting him in small doses. And go figure, his highest targets and the opportunities that he was given during the playoffs that he took advantage of, he scored. He had a good game. He was the best player on the field. He was the best offensive player on the field in the NFC Championship game. Jameson Williams. Just look out for Jameson Williams. If you want to sleep on him, you can sleep on Jameson Williams. I'd love to see Broski Bear put that one in there. He says he's sleeping on Davenport. Excuse me, Davenport. There you go. There you go. Mark's got the Lions winning 34-24. Even as bobbleheads, Kyler Murray would be at least an inch shorter than normal bobbleheads, which is why that's one of the things that's in his contract. You can't make a bobblehead. They don't want to make the bobbleheads bigger than Kyler Murray. But I'm making fun of this guy. He's probably going to come in and torch us. Detroit Fan Man says, kind of felt like Kansas City saw what they were doing with J-Mo and drafted Worthy. And Worthy rush TD looked very familiar. I think they drafted Worthy because he was the fastest guy in the combine, and they've been looking for a guy that could do what Tyreek Hill did. So I think you may be giving a little too much credit to Jameson Williams on that one right there. I think that they needed a fast guy because they've already won a championship with the guy that's in Miami right now. So I'm not willing to give that much credit to Jameson right there. He also had 2 drops in that game, in the game. Worthy had a good game overall, though. They stole J-Mo's play from Worthy last night. Really? You really think they stole J-Mo's play? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. They've been doing this. Good morning, Paul Jones. Sorry, I'm late. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Yeah, I don't think they were imitating Jameson Williams, guys. I think they were imitating Tyreek Hill from back in the day when they had Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a little more established than Jameson. I think that might be a reach right there. Maybe you're right. Maybe they stole Jameson's playbook, okay? All 6 of the plays that he was out there last year. Jameson, towards the end of the year, actually looked pretty good. Look at the championship game for sure. Paul Jones says, I lost $150 by a toe last night. What are you doing betting on that game, Paul? You betting on not Lions. Okay, that's all right. You aren't ready for J-Mo. They aren't ready for J-Mo. I'm willing to go out there and say it. So I went through all the comments right there, and now let's get into the after the bye week, right? I got us at 4-0, and we're going to go a little bit over today because I'm talking too much, and that's all right. That's all right. I would rather have the comments in there. So I got us at 4-0 right there. I got us beating the Rams. I got us beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I think had a little Cinderella stuff going on. I don't think they're as good as going to the playoffs last year. Arizona Cardinals are rising, but I think that's going to be like a home game out there because Arizona doesn't actually have any fans. And Seattle, I think that we're mad enough that we haven't gotten a victory on Seattle that one's going to have some fire too. And then we're going to go into the bye week, and then we get another revenge game right here. And I just can't see the Lions losing this game. Call me a homer right there. 5-0. We're going to go down there and we're going to put a whooping on that team. I think that we're going to out physical that team on October 13th, and we're going to take out some 4-0 aggressions. 5-0 going in there right there. And then October 20th, going to Minnesota. Minnesota's just lost too much. So unless they get something going right there, I just think that, that could be a trap game, but there you go. 6-0. There you go. 6-0 going into the Tennessee Titan game. So we are going to be at home versus Tennessee, and I think this is the trap game right here. Here's a trap game. I think that's going to be our first loss of the season. Well, I'm going to take an L right there with Tennessee after what I've seen in the first part of the year. I think Will Levis, even though he doesn't like milk, he seems pretty good. He seems pretty good, and that seems like a team that's poised, well-coached, good defense team. I think we go to 6-1 right there. And then we got November 3rd going to Lambeau. Going to Lambeau. And it would be hard pressed for me to not think that we could win that game. It's very, very important that we win division games. And I don't think that the Green Bay Packers are as good as what they're trying to say out there. I think that it sounds a lot like they need to prove themselves for more than 8 games before I buy into that. The Lions have owned Green Bay in Lambeau, 7-1 right there. Then we go to Houston, where the upstart Texans are probably going to give us an L. We're going to go to 7-2 right there. I'm going to take us down through the Colts right here. We got the Jaguars. I think, that's at home. That's at home. I think that we come back, get that. That's 8-2. 8-2 right there. And then we go to the Colts, going to the Colts, and I'm going to that game, and I'm like the worst luck in the world for the Lions. So I'm going to call November 24th a loss on that. So 8-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3. I got us 8-3 going into the Thanksgiving game. 8-3. So I'm going to say goodbye to all of the Huddle Sports Network people. If you're on Huddle Sports Network and you want to continue watching this program, come over to the YouTube before they shut you off. Go over to the YouTube channel. Please, if you're watching any of the broadcasts right now, please hit that like button. It helps. We're out there. It's free. Give us a like. Share this content out there. But all of the Huddle Sports Network people, we're going to welcome you over to the YouTube channel. And anybody that wants to go watch some Homer Bear stuff, Ken and Ken is in the morning right there over on Huddle Sports Network as we move on from that. So I got us at 8-3 going into the Thanksgiving game right now. And I got losses to the Titans. I got a loss to the Colts. And I got a loss to the Texans. So far, 8-3. What do you think of that so far? Let's get in there and look at some of this stuff right there. We didn't imitate anything. Back-to-back losses. At back-to-back losses for the Lions, Brown and Green Bay, Houston. I'm not buying into the Bucs this year, broski. I think the Bucs are one of those teams that actually the Bears can pass this year. Like the Bears are an up and coming team when it comes to that, and I think that the Bucs are one of those teams that that kind of had a good end of the season and were kind of a little bit fool's gold last year. They were able to beat a Philadelphia Eagle team that had what's his name? Philadelphia with Matt Patricia, that one guy that we hate here. So I'm not buying into that. Titan lost, Russ. Damn it. Russ, that's the game I'm going to. Hey, you know what? The Lions, when you look at all these teams, I think the Lions got the best roster in the NFL, and I could make a case for them to win every one of these games. And if I'm a homer, I'll just say 17-0, right? Because I don't think there's any team that should be able to beat this team. But here's the thing is this is the NFL, and there are losses that go in there and do that. So I got us at 8-3 going into the Thanksgiving game. And Broski's been waiting. He's been waiting for this one. And I think that we are going to split with the Bears. I think that we're going to split with the Bears, and that's coming on a short week. And we've had a hard loss, and it really is. If we're coming off of a loss, we are a very, very hard team to beat. But I think that this will be the Bears are going to win on Thanksgiving. We haven't had great luck on Thanksgiving. It's a short week, and the Bears coming into that. So I got us. There we go. 8-4 right there. Now we got Green Bay coming in. The week after that, we will be nice and pissed. We will be nice and mad. And we are going to sweep. We are going to sweep the Green Bay Packers this year. All of that talking. I don't think that they're going to let that happen. We have too many people on our team that will not let those Green Bay Packers. We're going to get the sweep. I'm going full-on homer with this. The Green Bay Packers coming in on the 5th. They're going to get these hands. They can't win in Lambeau. They proved that last year was a fluke. Then we get, so that's 9-4. Then we get the Buffalo Bills. Then we got the Buffalo Bills coming in. And I think that's a fool's gold team. I think that's a fool's gold team right there. We're going to get the win right there. Right there. And then the Bears come in. We're doing that split. So I'm going to call that one the loss right there on December 22nd. Right there. That's 10. Going to San Francisco. We are going to get that revenge victory in there. So that is 11 wins. And then it comes down to, at 11 wins, it really depends. Like, whether I'm going to be an 11 or 12 win team. If I'm going to call it out there, I'm going to call it a 12 win team because I don't think 11 wins is going to be enough for us to rest our starters or do anything like that against the Minnesota Vikings. So I got the Lions at 12-5. Again, they repeat as 12-5. I don't know if that's the right path. I got the Bears winning one game against us, and I have us going 5-1 in the division. The Bears, the only team going to get a victory against the Lions this year from the division, in my opinion. And I know it's not a big thing to say we're going to sweep the Vikings, but I think the Lions are going to be a locomotive train that is only going to get better through the season. So what you're going to see on Sunday night isn't anything right there. So I got the Lions at 12-5 going to the playoffs right there. No turducken. No, for Chicago. We end the Thanksgiving drought. Yeah. Hey, however you guys can get there. Let's see what else we got here. Titans loss. I don't think that they lose to the Colts. I don't know if we can really lose to any of these guys, right? I think that I think I got you beat, Russ. The Lions are 0-10 in games that I have gone to. Yeah, I haven't had very good luck in my away games yet. So Darcy says, "Go Eagles!" Detroit Darcy in the house, man. Great show the other day with John Macaroon. Fred Peterson, I see Jeremy B. I'll have to look at both games. Stay away from the games, Fred. I have the 3 losses. Paul Jones says I have the 3 losses. Green Bay. What'd I get here? I have the 3 losses that losing at Chicago, Green Bay, and Houston. That could be very well it. I mean, a lot of people got us losing to Houston. That is an upstart team. That team reminds me a lot of our team because they have a lot of young talent that's budding. And if you've ever watched my program before, I've said this 100 times, and it's the biggest fear for any team, and this is including the Lions, is your progression. Your progression. Like, if you ask me what I'm scared of, out of Chicago, I mean, it isn't necessarily Caleb Williams right out the gate. It isn't any of the brand like Keenan Allen. It's not Keenan Allen. No, it isn't the brand new guys. It's progression. It's Montez Sweat in his second year. Getting a full off season, the progression that they get. All of the young players that started playing well at the end of last year for that team. Now, with that being said, the Lions have the best progression that's going out there. You got Pro Bowl players that haven't finished progressing yet. You got players, a whole bunch of players that you could pick that would be the breakout. Now, I don't believe that every one of my players are going to break out on the Lions. A lot of people say that. Well, what's going to happen? Is Josh Pascal going to break out? Is this going to be the year for Levi Onwuzurike to break out? Is this going to be an even better breakout year for Brian Branch and Jack Campbell? I mean, these are guys that have already proved it in the league. They've already came out and had good seasons. Hutchinson had 11 sacks last year, and now he's going into his 3rd year, a breakout year. Aleem McNeil broke out last year. This is like all of these guys. I mean, any one of those guys, when you break out, you're talking about a Pro Bowl player, could become an all-pro player. The Lions have more players like that than any team in the NFL because they've drafted well. I mean, the biggest fear is progression. The biggest fear is progression on any team. We win on Turkey Day. Broski Bear says the Bears are going to tap that ass on Thanksgiving. Broski says the thing with Houston is they are hunted this season as well. They aren't sneaking up on anybody this season. Let's see how they respond. That's a great point, Broski. Goff in 2 games versus the Bear last season, 5 interception, 1 lost fumble, and 6 sacks. That is true. That is exactly why I predict that you are going to be the team that will beat the Lions once out of that division. I just don't think anybody else is going to do it. I just don't think anybody else is going to do it. And, Goff spent a lot of the time on his ass in that, but, we did go through, you didn't face the best version of our offensive line in there. And you didn't face our best running backs. You didn't face our best defenders in that game. We were down a lot of players in the middle of that season. We had a lot of injury problems in the middle of that season. And we were still able to get a victory in the 1 game. So, split last year. Remember that. Split. We split. Like, if we split, I'm not going to come in here and run that mouth on a split. Like we own this rivalry now because we won 1 game last year. We should have won both games. Yeah. And it's like, gosh, man, I don't get in a habit of counting almost wins as wins. I went through 0-16, broski. If we could count almost wins, the Lions would have won 11 games the year that they went 0-16. So we almost had 11 wins, broski, in 2008. No, you got to close the game out. You got to be able to close games out. So I got us at 12-5 again. Let me see what do we have in here? You got what do you got? Get your season predictions in there. So, with progression, does that mean the Bears sweep the Lions this season? All the teams have injuries by the time Thanksgiving rolls around. No, it doesn't mean that you sweep the Bears or that the Bears sweep the Lions, broski. Are you telling me that every single one of your guys are going to progress? We have more progressing players than you, broski. We have more Pro Bowl players that are going into their 3rd and 4th years than any team in the NFL. So there's nobody that's playing on the level of the Lions right now, as far as the progression game is going. And here's the other thing, broski, is when you improve your team, of course you could say you're going to sweep us this year and you could say that if you were the only team in the NFL that was allowed to get better. You act like you're going to play the team that you played last year on Thanksgiving with your current roster. And that's the thing, is you played against a weak secondary last year. Yeah, you did. You played against a weak defensive line last year. Yeah, you did. You did. But you did show that your defense is one of the better defenses, because I'm not going to use the offensive line excuse or anything like that. You came in and you won that game last year. You came in with your team and you won that game. And I give you credit for that. And I actually give you credit this year. That's the only team from the NFC North that I think is going to beat us this year. And I have to go there. I have to go there because as much as Broski is running his mouth in here about his team, the Packer fans are worse. Now, the Packer fans aren't, they don't have the courage to come on the show and talk that smack to me. They invite me to come to their Packer shows, for sure. But they don't have the courage to come on this show and talk that smack to me this year. They probably would now. But, if they go 0-2, they scatter like a bunch of, cockroaches. You shine some light on them. I don't even want to see that. At least Broski Bear comes in here and defends his team. So you come in here and talk that smack, but I got to talk that smack because all that the Green Bay Packer fans are doing on our page is coming on to our comments from our picture posts and playing keyboard warrior. Yeah, you got. You don't want to come on here. You don't want to say that. You don't want to talk all that mess because you're not that confident. You're not really that confident. The Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs are the most bet teams to get to the Super Bowl. And it's triple everybody else, by the way. Like, there's 4% of the bets are on the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl in Vegas. And this is just truth right here, right? This doesn't mean that the Lions are better. This doesn't mean that they're going to be a better team because people are betting on them. What that means is the real confidence, like people putting money where their mouth is. There's more people betting on the Detroit Lions. And you may call them all dumb just because, I can't, but I don't care. You might be you're just throwing money away. No, that means that my team's more confident than your team. That means that our fans are putting their money where their mouth is. So where Packer fans are like, yep,
Yep, yeah, Jordan, yeah, what are you Lions gonna do? What are you gonna do?
you're not putting your money where your mouth is. You won't put no cash on it. You won't go to Vegas and put that money down. You just want to run your mouth. Kudos to Lion fans for being the best fans in the NFL. Go out there and put your money where your mouth is. If you're so confident about your team, put your money where your mouth is. Go out there, raise that number for your team, Green Bay Packer fan. For all the crap that you talk, 4% of the bets going on winning the Super Bowl tells me that your fan base isn't that confident. You ain't that confident. It's plastic confidence. It's a house made of cards confidence. It is. The Lions go out and the Lion fans go out and put money on their team because they actually have confidence. Like, I don't know how many Michigan fans that are here that are Lion fans can just afford to drop money. So I wouldn't put money on a team unless I was sure. So, I mean, it doesn't make them the best team. It doesn't make them the best team just because fans are going out and putting money on the team. That is not what I'm trying to say. What it does say is that our fans are more confident than your fans. No matter what team. Bears, Packers, like, go put some money on your team. You're going to go 15-2, Bears? You got Caleb Williams. Go put some money on that and going to the Super Bowl. If he's going to be that good, they're going to the Super Bowl. Go put some money on it. There's no real confidence there. It's just a bunch of, I got to go to a podcast or I got to go to a Facebook page. I'm going to go type some stuff. And you can go to our Facebook page. We got 53,000. We're going to 53,000. We're going to get there before Sunday. I just got a feeling we could get there before Sunday night's broadcast. Let's get to 53,000 villains. And we have a lot of great content on that. We ask questions. We got Homer posts that go up there. It's a Lion fan page. And you can go interact. You can join the conversation. Join the conversation. We also have, if you've seen Jeffrey Addison in here, I don't know if Jeffrey's in here somewhere, but we have a Lions Facebook group, Detroit Lions Main Event. And if you want to put your opinions, post them up. And you got some good stuff, we post that out on our page too. Join the conversation. And we appreciate that. Broski Bear says, I haven't changed what I've been saying. Bears are an 8-10 win team. I like that. I like that confidence. I think that you are a rising team. And I think that if you have a season like the Lions did last year, that going into your next season, you'll probably feel a lot like the Lions fans do. Because a Lion fan last year got a lot of confirmation. We got a lot of confirmation on some things, and the wait and see stuff. You want to see some things happen, right? You want to know how good is Aiden Hutchinson really, right? And then you had him take that next step. How good is Aleem McNeil? Was that first season a fluke? And then they go in and then they show it. Even Jack Campbell coming in. He comes in, ends the season with 97 tackles. Those are things that you're looking at these things for next year, and you get excited about it. The next step for Brian Branch. That's a beautiful thing. Because sometimes when you draft these guys, you get all hyped up, and then they fall off. Minnesota Viking fans, they draft Lewis Cine at pick 32. Yeah, we got the best safety, and then he's not good. He just got cut from the team. The Lions, that could have happened with Brian Branch too. They could have drafted Brian Branch and, he could have fell off and then we wouldn't be talking about. But no, he had one of the best seasons as a cornerback in the league. And now he's going into his second year. That feels good. That progression feels good. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had 1,000 yards almost last year, and they brought him on slow, man. He really didn't have the, quote unquote breakout until like week 7, week 8, because they got to bring him up in a nice progression way because they had David Montgomery to carry the load, even Craig Reynolds carrying the load. When you got a deep team, you don't have to rush guys out there. So there's a lot of exciting things for the Lions going into this season. And then a couple of things that that were kind of unexpected, right? Even the Emmanuel Mosley thing, even though he got injured, the fact that he all of a sudden came out, that gave us like a burst in the arm, a shot in the arm. And then he gets injured. But now you got the same type of shot in the arm with Josh Pascal and like Levi Onwuzurike, two guys that had excellent camps. Excellent camps. You can't count on these guys that haven't shown it yet out. Okay, they need to show it out on the field. They got to show it out on the field, but that's, I'm sure that you got a handful of guys for your team, Packer fan, Bear fan, Viking fan. I'm sure that you got some guys on your team that you're feeling pretty good about after your training camp that maybe not a lot of people know about. So we got our list of people too. But we also have a list of people that have already proven that they're pretty good in the NFL, like Sam Laporta. There's another guy. Even Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson. Aaron Glenn expects Aiden Hutchinson to be the best defensive player in the league. He expects him to be mentioned up there with the Nick Bosa this year. And he kind of was a little bit, but I'm talking about right in there. You can't say one without the other. Who's the top guys? It's Aiden Hutchinson and Bosa, right? You and Garrett. He's going to be mentioned up there with those guys this year. And half of it's not even on him. Half of it's because Aleem McNeil's going to take another step forward. Levi Onwuzurike and DJ Reader. Mekhi Wingo. Shoot, I didn't even mention a rookie. We've got a much improved secondary. How do you not get excited about these Lions? How do you not get excited about these Lions? I got the Lions at 12-5. I tried to get it to 13. But I can see some trap games in here and there. And I may not have picked the right games to lose, but you never know. The Lions should beat every team. They should go 17-0. They're better than every team that's out there from roster top to bottom. So they should win all their games, but they won't. They won't. And it's hard to call which games are going to be the losses. But I got a feeling that the Lions are going to be very, very focused on these division games this year. Even going 4-2 last year in the division, I feel is a letdown for for the coaching staff. Like, it's very important that they win those division games. And I think they're going to come in with a higher intensity, especially in division games, because they're going to bring it too. You can't call division games. The Lions could go 3-3 in the division, and that could be where the losses come from. They may end up beating, Tennessee and they may end up beating Tennessee and Indianapolis. Who knows? And they may end up losing 3 of the division games, because that's tough, man. It's tough. Prove it on the field. David Barnett says, do we have more guys recovering from injury than most NFL teams? No, we don't. We just have our injuries talked about more. Every team has guys recovering from injuries. And do you call, let me ask you this, Dave. Do you call Jahmyr Gibbs a guy that is recovering from an injury because he tweaked something in camp and they kept him out? Because to me, when they remove these guys from the list of injury list, that means they're fully recovered from the injury, and I don't count them anymore. When you're fully recovered from the injury, you move on. Like right now, Marcus Davenport is not recovering from an injury. Marcus Davenport has been healthy for the entire offseason programs. He came in to training camp fully ready to go. And that's not an injured player. Now, you want to call injury history? Yeah, you can call injury history. But some of the things you have to admit from this year, because when you look at the Emmanuel Mosley thing, you would say, God, all Brad Holmes does is he gets these players that are injury prone, and that doesn't work. Yeah, it does. It does work. It does work sometimes. It doesn't work every time, because if you're getting a discount based off of taking a chance on injury, DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, I think there's a good chance that one of those two guys plays the full season. Could happen. It could happen. Broski says that I feel the injuries entering the season across the NFL have increased dramatically since 2017 when they ended two-a-days. See, that's an interesting thing. It's one of the things that the Lions were believing in this year. Is they go hard in some of their practices. Actually, they went so hard in some of their practices that they got fined for going too hard in the practices. And I think there's something to be said about that, broski, because a lot of people think, well, you don't want to put them out there because they might get injured. It's like, no, I think that they need to beat their bodies, like, callus up the body, get it ready to take a full beating for 17 weeks. And the two-a-days, you got these practices, maybe they're getting a little more ready for the regular season to take the long haul. So I think that there's some truth to that, broski bear. And I mean, who knows what's right? Mark Orlando says that the NFC North is going to be the best division in the NFL next year. I like that call. I think it could be this year. Mark. Because I mean, I think the Bears and the Green Bay Packers is, as much as Broski's in here, he wants to talk about my team. I like the matchup between the Bears and the Green Bay Packers, because I actually believe that the Bears have more quality talent of veteran guys that have played in the NFL and understand things. And I think the Packers might be in trouble this year. Like, there's a sneaky voice in the back of my head that has nothing to do with the Lions and their relationship with the Packers that says, you might have some fool's gold there. It's possible. I mean, you're really basing your whole, confidence of Jordan Love having a absolute magical end of the season, like best in the league type of end of season. And that, I mean, is that duplicatable? Sure. I mean, if he is him and he is all that, but this is an 8-game sample size, guys. And really, the success of a lot of the other guys that they hope in, like Dontavian Wicks and Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed, all of these guys broke out last year off of the basis of Jordan Love playing well and Aaron Jones running the ball very well at the end of the season. So I think that the Packers have a lot more to prove with their unprovens than the Bears do, especially the Lions. The Lions have a lot of proven players that are going to be in there. They just had a glaring weakness that they threw a whole bunch of assets at in the defensive line and the cornerback room. But everything else was fine on the Lions. There wasn't question marks on the linebacker core. There wasn't question marks with Aiden Hutchinson or Kirby Joseph or Brian Branch. The certain core players, Alex Anzalone. There wasn't question marks on that. With the Packers, they got a lot of question marks. Lots of them. You change defensive coordinators. You just assume because you didn't like your last defensive coordinator, this is just going to work. This guy's not a known defensive coordinator. Let Matt LaFleur hired his buddy. So them having a lot of confidence, that's fine. You know, so a lot of the black and blue division is predicated on the fact that the Bears and the Packers have these progressing teams as well. Like both of these teams are going into, quote unquote, second year, right? Going into the second year of the good rebuild, right? And even I got to call the second year for the rebuild for the Bear fans because you filled the team first and then you drop the quarterback in. And that's to me, that's a smart move. That's what I like to do on my Madden franchises. I like to build the team and then draft the quarterback. And that, longevity. I called that out last year, broski. I got crucified on this show when I had brought up in the middle of the season that, hey, at the end of the season, they should trade Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. Now, I got a little pushback on who the quarterback. Oh, I'd rather have Jaden Daniels. I remember that from Bear fans. But for the most part, I got crucified. You're just a Justin Fields hater. You're just unhappy. They kicked your ass, Justin Fields. How could you say? And now all the Bear fans jumped on the other bandwagon so quickly. And I don't think you can find very, very many Justin Fields truthers out there from the Bears squad. They were out, and I'm talking in the middle of last season, broski. I'm not talking I'm talking the middle of last season. You had Bear fans wanting to crucify me because I suggested that they would trade Justin Fields. I'm just a hater. No. It's the smart thing to do. You're just a hater. No. You got the last year. You want to really take this guy? What if he comes in? What if you kept? What if Bear fan? What if you got to keep Justin Fields, right? And then you didn't draft Caleb Williams, right? You still have the draft picks. You were still able to bring in Keenan Allen, but you brought it in with Justin Fields, right? And let's just say Justin Fields has a career year, right? During this whole season. This is what I said last year. And then at the end of the season, are you willing to pay Justin Fields $60 million a year to be your quarterback? No. You need to reset the franchise. It had nothing to do with what I thought about Justin Fields or not thought about Justin Fields. You had the quarterback. It didn't really work out for the first 2 years. So Caleb Williams gives you the best chance to win. Long term. Maybe not this year. That's the method of the Chiefs, Rams, Eagles, build the team, and then drop in a quarterback. Well, the only difference being is those guys all had a guy first. Like, even though the Rams got, they traded, they dropped the quarterback in. They used Jared Goff as the bridge. They treated him like the franchise quarterback, but they treated him like the bridge at the end and then dropped Stafford in and won. The Chiefs had Alex Smith for a couple years that they developed Patrick Mahomes first. So their rebuild, the Chiefs, maybe the Eagles. I think you guys are more like the Eagles than the Chiefs. The Packers are more like the Chiefs because, they had Aaron Rodgers and then they drafted the quarterback and developed them for 3 years. So you're the man, Russ, with your Bears takes. Hey, you know what? I try to keep it real. And I try to keep it with you too. You know, the people that are in here commenting, I usually try to cater the show to it. God, I went way over today. That's all right though. I'm so pumped up for football right now that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to start a QB doesn't mean that it was the long-term solution. I like the move that I'm an envious person of Ryan Poles. If I didn't have Brad Holmes, I would feel really, really good for you guys about because I think that Brad Holmes is the best GM in the NFL, and he's proven it. But I do believe that Poles is in the top 5 right there, like is good as all these other GMs. But Brad Holmes has got such a crazy, awesome batting average when you look at the picks that he's hit on. And you know what? The only thing that people really question about Brad Holmes is the free agency thing. And I get that, but in his style, he isn't going to spend a lot on free agency. That just isn't going to – he's always going to go after injury players that he can get for cheaper. And because we don't build our team based around free agents. We build the team based around the draft. If you look at the Lions team from top to bottom, the best players on our team are guys that were drafted by Brad Holmes. You know, especially if Levi Onwuzurike is a plus player in the NFL. He doesn't even have to be an all-pro or anything like that. If he's just I'm a great, solid rotational piece that comes in, 30% of the snaps and plays, Brad Holmes, that first draft class is insane. Because then you got Penei Sewell, Levi Onwuzurike, if he plays I'm not even going to call him an all-pro or anything like that. If he just plays as a solid NFL player, Levi Onwuzurike in the second round, Aleem McNeil in the third round, Ifeatu Melifonwu in the fourth round, at the end of the third round, I guess compensatory pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Jameer Jefferson. Every single one of those guys are on our team. And the only one that's not on the main roster is Jamar Jefferson. All the other guys are plus players. It's amazing. And then the second draft with Aiden Hutchinson, you got Kirby Joseph, and what if Josh Pascal becomes a good rotational piece? There you go. You hit on 3 guys again. That's insane. And then last year's draft, that's looking historic to get 2 top 5 players at a position on there. So nobody's batting like Brad Holmes. I mean, even with Ryan Poles being a really, really good GM, and I can call him a really, really good GM, but he ain't no Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is like a good GM can bat 300 like a baseball player, right? Brad Holmes batting like 800. 800. Like, all the guys he drafts are impact players. Insane. Jason MC in the house. Skull Nation. Good to hear from you in here. Good morning. Finally got my second cup of coffee. Did anyone notice how young a lot of the defense Kansas City offensive players are? Most contracts are sewed up 3 years. Scary opponent for 3 or 4 more years. So I believe in that. That's yet to be determined. It hasn't been yet to be determined. No. This is fact. This is fact right now. If you find me another GM that is hitting like Brad Holmes. Now, you may be able, because I mean, Brett, when did Ryan Poles start? Was he 2022 or was he 2021? Because if he was 2021, we're on an even playing field here, broski. As a matter of fact, he may have started out behind you. Broski Bear might be 1 year ahead of it, but Brad Holmes, there's no GM in the NFL that's even batting 500 right now on draft picks. So there is no, this is not yet to be determined. This is determined. This is what it is right now. Now you have a shot with your GM to be right there in that conversation, but you're not going to be better. You're not going to be better than 800 because you're not. I mean, you haven't. He hasn't drafted like that yet. You've had some misses in there. Brad Holmes doesn't miss, not on draft picks. So I'm not going to agree with you there. Okay, yeah, okay. So you got 1 year. So we'll have to see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how. Like I said, your team has a lot in common with the Lions going into that third season as a general manager. And I love it because you guys went into you zigged, we zagged. Yours is a successful up until this point, and Brad Holmes is successful up until that point. Hey, when you say that you dominated the chat, that's a good thing, Russ, I dominated your chat today. If you want me to pump the brakes at any point, let me know. I mean, that depends. Like, if I see people complaining that I'm talking too much bear stuff on here, that's fine. I mean, I do want to keep everything together. We're having good football conversations. I don't think that we're losing anybody doing this right now. I got 40 people watching the show right now, and that's cool. But no, I don't want you to pump the brakes on it. I mean, if we get heated and somebody wants us to change the subject, we can do that. Just try to stay with the subjects that we're on. But we're having a conversation. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But this is the Lion Villain Report. This is the Lion Villain Report, and it's brought to you by the NFL Shop. You can use promo code NFL24 with our link in the description. It's nice to know that NFL Shop cares enough about the page, thinks that people would actually buy Lions gear from our page. So I appreciate that. Official marketing partners with NFL Shop. So if you're going to get your jersey, get it with our link. Might even be able to save you 25% by using the link. And I'll let you guys know about, any deals that we can get. But you're not going to go to NFL Shop and get it any cheaper. So you might as well use our link. If you're watching the show, thank you for supporting the show. We're blue collar. We're blue collar. I used to be a musician. I still am a musician, but I had to semi-retire from being a musician. I have a wonderful 5-year-old autistic son, and that has forced me to do a lot more working at home. And God has provided me with a way to make a living from home, and it has to do with you guys. I'm able to make a living at home because I have people that actually want to watch a football show and go to a Facebook page and talk some trash about the Lions and talk some trash for the Lions. I'm blessed, and I ain't afraid to admit it because it's faith, family, and then football. And if you notice, we had Broski Bear in here. Broski Bear is a Bear fan. And it's faith, family, and then football. That allows me to love on a guy like Broski Bear and Jason MC. I know that you're a Skull fan. And we proved that you can come on to a place, you can talk a little bit of trash, and I can love on the person. I love you, JC. Jason MC. I love you, Broski. I love you, Steve, the Packer fan. I love you, Bill, the Packer fan. I just hate your team. I don't like your team. That's okay. Because it's faith, family, and then football in that order. Use football. Use football to spend time with your family. Use football to create memories. Have a good time. Don't let football use you. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning. That'll be Saturday morning show. And that's the Villain Report. Peace out. God bless.
Hey yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, candles open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we running and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.